Welcome, guys. Welcome to my channel. Guys, this is my first time trying this one, so I don't know what to tell you to expect. I also invited a guest. I don't know if she'll be able to come in, a dietitian from dialysis, but what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be actually taking my chicken that you see here. I'm going to do a rotisserie and I'm going to put it into my air fryer. Um, and I want to try a seasoning that was recommended to me um, by one of our dialysis dietitians. And so you're going to see me get up and I'm going to go over to the stove and you're going to see me use one of these seasonings here. And these seasonings are by uh, his name here. I actually looked up some information on him because I wanted to know more about what he was doing. And his name is Chef Paul. I cannot pronounce that name. Prudhomme, Prudhomme. And he is known for magic seasoning blends. Magic seasoning blends. So before we get started into that, what is this all about? What is this all about? So guys, we shared with you on our last video that we're going to be working on fluid management. And the reason we want to do that is because I work in dialysis and we have a lot of we have dialysis patients, we have family and friends, and you know that my husband, my late husband Ben, was on dialysis, and we had to learn about controlling fluid, and also it's going to help all of us as well. We're going to find out why it's so important as we prepare our chicken and get him into the air fryer for a rotisserie chicken that might not get cooked before we're off this program, but I will definitely let you know how it turned out. Okay, so uh, let me just tell everybody who I am. My name is Queen C. Pinkston, family caregiver supporter. I support family caregivers spiritually, physically, financially. It's just to support the one that is taking care of that loved one. Yes, I am a professional caregiver in dialysis, but I have also been a family caregiver of my loved ones. And what I'm trying, I'm not trying, but focusing on in these next few videos is helping the family member, the family member find ways to support their loved ones who are on this fluid control thing. And because in a lot of families, you have multiple diets. You're going to have the kidney diet, and then you could have a regular diet, and then you could have something else going on, diabetic diet or something. And sometimes it's hard to find a balance in the family, and it's expensive when you're trying to make sure you buy this, you buy that, and you don't buy this. This one can eat this, and this one can't, and it could become very, very overwhelming. So I want to talk about today, and I'm going to demonstrate as I do my chicken. Now, first, this is my first time using this seasoning, and like I say, it was recommended by a by our dialysis dietitian at my job, and I don't even know if she's tried it. She said, but she had received those because she get these, and she said, it's we want to try it. So we want to find a way to get away from so much salt. So why is this? Cooking with less salt and more seasoning is a powerful way for all of us to protect our health, guys. So let's go ahead on and start working on that chicken over there, and then we're gonna come back and talk. And I'll try to keep my eye out to see if my guest comes in. Okay. So let me see. Can I make this where you guys can see me more? Let me see. What can I do? Don't want that one. Do that one. Okay, that one. You can see me there. You can see me there. Okay, And what if I do this? I think you can see me a little better there. We're going to try it and see. So with this one open, I won't be able to see the chat. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and then go from there, guys. All right. So I'm in my kitchen, my little kitchen. And what I have here, which I've already washed and prepared, wash my hands again here. So what I have here, I don't want to spill any water on the floor. So this is a typical whole fryer. This is just a whole fryer here. Okay? And he's been washed and cut off the tail and the head there. And yeah, it's a complete fryer. So now, this is my range, and I have a full length cutting board on top. So these, again, that I'm holding up there are the seasonings that the dietitian was recommending, and I looked those up. So let's talk about these. It's this one by Chef Paul. It is a toasted onion and garlic. Okay, it's salt free and sugar free. Salt free and sugar free. And like I say, I've never tried it before, so I don't know. So I need to ask you guys, which one should I try? This one is Creole seasoning. I think he has a history of being down in Louisiana. And again, it's salt free and sugar free. What are some of the seasonings in there, maybe? Okay, in the toasted onion and garlic, there's toasted onion, ground chives, um, seaweed. There's seaweed. Sorry, I should hold this with the camera. Seaweed there, and green onion, garlic, spice is in this one. Okay, and this is again the toasted. Not sure if that light is blinding it out there. Try to do it right there. Yeah. Okay. This one has tomato powder, paprika, garlic, black pepper, onion, red pepper, white pepper, oregano, and thyme. That's what this one has right here. See a little better there. Yeah. Okay. And this is the Creole seasoning here. But remember, these are what? Salt free and sugar free. So that's what we want to do today. So let's go and let me check, guys, and make sure she's not in, because I see a couple of people that are in. Nope, don't have. She's not in. So hopefully you can see me. I need to be able to see the camera, make sure if she comes in, my guess. All right. So I'm going to. I don't know which one you think I should. Which one should I try? Which one should I try? Okay. Do you like the Creole seasoning better? Or do you like the toasted onion and garlic? I'm going to. Yeah, I don't see anyone typing in the chat. So I'm going to go with toasted onion and garlic. Yeah. And guess what? I'm cooking this now because I have a concert tonight. So when I come home, I'll have something to munch on, and plus, I'll be ready for my Sunday dinner tomorrow. Okay? So I'm going with toasted onion and garlic. We're going to see what's happening. So now, you can use these, I think. It sounds like when you're on your plate, but I'm going to baste the chicken in this. So I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to see how this works. Kind of like, I'm going to use it kind of like a rub all over this chicken. That's what I'm going to do. And also, the back. know if you guys can see me here. Put it on the back, around the wings. Okay, all over the entire. I'll bring it over closer and let you see in a minute. And I'm also going to put it inside. So let's hold this guy up like this. Yep. Let's go around here like so. Remember now, it's about less salt. So we're salt free. No salt. And I'm not used to cooking without salt. But it's a little bit of salt, a lot of salt. I don't use a lot of salt, but I've never were raised without salt. We always taught that salt brings out the seasoning, right? And you don't want it fresh. So for now, guys, I've almost used the whole packet. There's still some down in there. So what I'm going to do is maybe hold on to some of this. So I can't show you it all, but I didn't use the entire packet, guys. There's still some down in there. So look like maybe at least a good tablespoon, maybe. All right. So now I'm going to put it in the air fryer, and I have a 13-quart air fryer right here, so it can hold it with no problem. So here we go. All right, cut board back in the sink. Gonna clean up all of this. Throw that in the sink. Okay. Save the rest of the seasoning. Remember, we did no salt. No salt. We did no salt. Okay. And now we got it inside the air fryer. See the seasoning on it there? Okay. Air fryer is over here. And we're going. Now, I put it on for 1 hour because it's an entire fryer. It's a whole chicken. And I'm not sure the fullness, but I want it to get nice and well done. And we will have some of the seasoning to apply on the cooked part of the chicken. So let us now, and I don't see my guests. So I shared with her, and I have some few other guests that I've invited as well. Yeah, I will invite as time goes on. That they work. These people work. So I send them the link, and if they are available, they can join us in this on our live stream. So in the meantime, let's you and I talk now. So all this thing here about salt, what's going on? What's going on? What is all the emphasis about salt? Um, I mean, I know some have probably been saying, "My God, I just cannot." I remember I had a sister-in-law. She would say, "Oh, the food smells so good, but I just can't eat it because it is so fresh. It just, I got to have the salt. There's no salt. I don't think in these in our classes we're going to be saying no salt. Period. I don't think so. I think what we're focusing on is reduce salt, reducing salt, and there are reasonings for it. Now, things again that I'm learning because as I'm maturing, that we maybe ate when we were younger, um, we didn't have any problem with. We probably could just eat it. I know I could do it. I could eat a pint of ice cream a day, never gain a pound. I could do all kinds of stuff. But in this particular situation here with the salt, I think it affects everyone really. I'm not sure. I don't think it's just on age. So let's look at some points here. Why it matters. What is all this? Reducing salt helps manage blood pressure. Now, right there alone, for the African American population, is somewhere that we could live for a while. We could live for a while. Right there, right there. What did I just say? Reducing salt helps manage blood pressure. And we know. Now, I don't have my blood pressure monitor here in front of me now. One of these days, I'm going to bring it over and we'll do a blood pressure check as well. Because fluid retention, so it says reducing salt help manage blood pressure, fluid retention. And fluid retention has an awful lot to do with the raising of our blood pressure. And so, whoa, how does that go together? Yeah, it really does. Okay, so fluid retention and thirst, critical for those on hemodialysis. Now, I shared with you once before that a lot of you won't identify. You can use this information, but you probably will say, well, I ain't got no problems. And my blood pressure is fine. I'm not retaining any fluid. My hands are not swelling. My feet are not swelling. I don't have any problems, so this is not for me. And I want to say to you, thank you and God bless you. But I would ask a favor of you because it would really, really shock me if you do not have anyone, excuse me, in your family or amongst your friends that is an African American, that is Black, and do not have high blood pressure or diabetes or deal with swollen feet or stiff or swollen legs or your hands are puffy at times. If you do not have anyone, you can't think of anyone, then the favor that I want you to do for me is to pray. Pray for the people that do. And thank God for you. And I pray that you never ever know anyone or that you never ever have to deal with anyone who deals with these issues. Okay? So again, it might not be for you personally, but as a community, as a village, we want to be able to help others. And I'm speaking to our Black churches, as I'm one of the ministers in my church, Ark of Jesus Ministries, located at 1000 Winton Road North, Rochester, New York. Shout out to Bishop David J. Singleton and Lady Dawn, who are very, very health conscious. And they're always talking to us. Again, Bishop is very, very strong on helping us maintain our health. It's very important. So that's the favor I'm asking for you. If you know anyone, you don't know anyone in your family, high blood pressure, diabetes, suffering from anything like that, I want you to be aware of other people and just share the video. And yeah, let's be a village. Because if you don't have it, you might know someone who does. All right, let's move on. So, what is this about this salt thing? What is this? Sister Pinkston is talking about salt. What is it? Okay, salt helps to manage salt, reducing salt, less salt, not so much salt, helps to manage blood pressure, fluid retention, and thirst, critical for those on hemodialysis. But flavor doesn't have to suffer. And that's why I spoke with my dietitian, one of them, at my job. And I said, what is it that I can offer and what can do? And yeah, flavor, seasoning. So as a in the typical country, African American community that I grew up in, where we South Georgia in Central Florida, where we had tons of vegetables, tons of seafood, tons of the gardens, all the things were there, but yet we didn't use an awful lot of extra outside seasonings. We used what we had plus salt and pepper. There was a thing they called salt pork. Yeah, because that's when they would take the pork, cured, slaughtered them hog, cure him. Um, you would have the smokehouse for the bacon, and you would have all the meats there, the ham, and all of those type of things. And so a lot of the food that I grew up with that we would cook, they would season it with a pork piece like a ham hock, which was salty, or like as I say, salt. It's kind of hard to say. It's salt. I'm putting an R there. It's not salt. It's salt. Okay, salt pork. They used to call one fat back. You had smoked bacon, and all of these things, and so they would be naturally salty because when they would cure them, I can remember my dad curing them. They were preparing them to my stepfather um, uh, to smoke them because you smoke bacon, you've seen it, smoked ham, you've seen those things. So they would really douse it down with salt. And so you would take a portion of that and season. A lot of people say, I season my greens with this, my collard greens. Black folks love collard greens. I know I do. I season them with, a ham hock. I season them with the salt pork. I season them with, smoked bacon. I season them with, various things. And so they had salt in there. And then I can remember one of my brothers, my favorite brother, I had 5 brothers, my favorite brother. He would sit down at the table, and I do not care what you could have seasoned the food to the best of your ability, but he looked for one thing. If it wasn't the salt box, it was the salt shaker. And he would sit and dunk salt on his food. I'm saying salt again, I'm sorry, it's my southern accent, salt on his food. And so we were geared to eating heavily salted. We felt sometimes the more salty or whatever in our fish in Central Florida. I mean, we at, uh, at repasses for funerals where we cook fish outside in the cast down pot. Oh my God, it was the best fish you could ever eat, but it had to be salted and peppered, and it had to be salted and peppered well to go along with the nicely seasoned, which I love, potato salad and all the things that we had. So we had to have it highly seasoned with salt and pepper. If there was no salt in there, they didn't see you as a very good cook. So what are we talking about now, though? We're realizing that high blood pressure is no joke. We're realizing now that kidney failure is no joke. We're realizing now that our family members that are on dialysis, they may have been used to eating that way. And now they're finding that highly salted food helps them to retain fluid. It helps because what is the cliche? water, which I got tea right here now, but water follows the salt. So if something is very salty, the next thing you're going to want to do is what? Drink. Okay. So if, as a dialysis person, now who we're talking about taking hemodialysis, you are only allowed to drink so much fluid. So I'm going to say 1 liter. I'm going to make it easy. I'm going to say 1 liter, 1 liter of fluid. So if you're eating something salty and you're drinking and you're eating and you're drinking and you're eating, before you know it, you're going to have more than a liter of fluid in your body. That includes watermelon, that includes popsicles, that include jello, that includes anything that melts is counted as liquid for you who are on hemodialysis. Okay, so this um, session that I'm doing, classes, are for the family members of the person that is on hemodialysis. Because a lot of times we're the ones that are shopping, we're the ones that are preparing the food, we're the ones that are doing these things. And also, we're the ones that are supporting our family members that are on hemodialysis. And we have to help them. And if they get sick, we're the ones that have to care for them. And we're the ones that sees when they're uncomfortable. Now they have on so much fluid, they can hardly breathe, so therefore they won't be able to lay down and sleep at night. That means you won't sleep at night. They're going to be coughing. They're going to be doing all kinds of things trying to get the fluid away from them, which they can't. Why? Because the kidney doesn't work, and therefore they can't go to the bathroom. They only have to keep that fluid on until they get to the center where we are to connect them to a machine and, and filter their blood and remove that fluid. So this is why um, I am looking and focusing on ways, not just for them, but for all of us, to increase increase our knowledge on ways that we can expand our cooking to reduce so much salt. Now, my taste buds will have to get used to my uh, chicken that I just put in because remember, I used the seasoning from Paul, not 1 grain of salt that I put on it. So, and his seasonings are what? Totally salt free and sugar free. All right. So, so we know now that we don't want them retaining a bunch of fluid. They're going to retain fluid because the kidneys are not working. So we can't stop them from retaining fluid. We just don't want them to retain a lot of fluid, which will put them in the emergency room. That's what we're trying not to do. Okay. So we're going to have to learn then how to do cooking in different ways. Um, with my collard greens, one of the things that I learned to do was to start seasoning them with smoked turkey. Now, smoked turkey is salty, but I don't think it has as much salt I found. So I can use just that, but you won't be able to add much additional salt. And you're going to say, well, oh boy, that's not good. But I think there's some other seasonings that we can learn to add into our dishes to help. So some things here, and I have a lot, but we won't use them all. We're cooking now. The chicken over there is in the air fryer. We've already added the seasoning on there, and we got it going because I'm going to get out of here soon, guys. I got a concert tonight. The Coma Choir will be singing at Monroe Community College. The ones of you that are located in the Rochester area, and we will be there at 6 o'clock. So support us celebrating our 30th anniversary. So your girl won't be eating a lot before she goes, but the chicken will be ready. So when I come home, hopefully it will taste good and I will be able to eat some of it there. And also after church tomorrow, get my Sunday dinner ready. So now we want to build a flavor base. Let me see if that's where I want to go because he's telling us about we have so many different ways that we could do this. to cook with less salt. So yeah, so flavor based. Let's try that. So we start with. Have you ever heard of the Holy Trinity? I mean, I'm learning something right off the bat, guys, as I'm doing my research. Now this is Paul here. This is not his. This is not his. I poured his on the chicken, and have some left. Paul, I'll put it in the description box because I can't really say his name very well, but it's Chef Paul Pahomey, and I'm messing his name up. So I'll put the information in there where you can find more of his stuff, and I think he has a website that we can do. But in our notes, it's called the Holy Trinity. And guys, if you cook with the Holy Trinity, please leave a teach your girl, teach your girl these things. I didn't know it. So what is it? So as to start with the Holy Trinity of is simple onion, bell pepper, and celery. Now I've cooked with that, but I didn't know that it was called the Holy Trinity. It says or swap in garlic. I like garlic. I once didn't use a lot of garlic. Can I just be open and honest? And I know the Italian culture uses a lot of garlic. And one of the reasons is because it helps to control blood pressure. But we, as the African American community, which oh no, it smells high. I don't want to be smelling like garlic. And I can remember, especially young, and you're going, I don't want to be smelling like onions, and I don't want to be smelling like this, and I don't want to be smelling like that. But it was good for our system. Okay, so now we know. Now I don't want to be smelling like it, but I can find times to eat it and maybe make sure I have a good mint when I'm going out in the public. Okay. So the Holy Trinity, let's get back. So it's what? Onion, bell pepper, and celery, or there's another triple, garlic, scallions. We used to grow scallions in South Georgia on the farm. That's the onion with the little bulb on the bottom and the long green stem. The long green stem. Yes, scallions. Okay. And thyme, depending on your roots. So depending on what your culture is, right? So those are the three. Let me know. Let me know which one of these you use. Now, it says use bold spice blends. Bold spice blends. So this is where one of my coworkers who's Jamaican, and I'll be inviting her in one of these days, and hopefully she will share some of her uh, teachings on that. I have one that's not camera shy. So she said, I have a few, but some are camera shy. But I have one that's not camera shy. And she said she would be glad to do it. Plus, she's an RN and she works in dialysis. So she knows the fullness of what I'm doing here. Okay. So, says use bold spice blend. So we're going to try smoked paprika. Guys have, now I've used paprika, but I don't know if I've used smoked paprika. Smoked paprika, cumin. I've tried that. Matter of fact, I think I might have some in the fridge. Cayenne. I know a lot of people use that. Or African inspired blends like, okay, this is all my African friends, guys that are in Kenya and Zimbabwe, and all you guys help me out. It's called Suya, Suya. All right, all right, RN, CO2, Sharon, I need you over this one. I need you. It's called Suya Berber. Don't know that one. The Caribbean green seasoning is a fresh herb paste and is another powerhouse. So now, this is where my friends, I am Rupert, come in from Jamaica, and RN2 CEO, and all these guys come in. And then from my African people, that's going to be Rocio, yeah, and IMR and all those guys over there. They're doing all that cooking, yeah, and Jamaican uncle and all those people, because they're cooking with all these various seasonings. Guys, if you know of the Suya, Suya, let me know. Or if you know of the Burberry, Berbere, let me know. We're gonna take a look in a minute in our chicken, see how we're doing. Caribbean green seasoning. That's the one I said is a fresh herb paste. It says a powerhouse. I don't know if you know about that one. If you know about that one, guys. Um, Seasoning secret. It says a fresh herb paste. Um, mm, okay, it says spices like. Oh, I found it, so I know. It's just a different name. It says spices like suya. Well, suya, guys, is ground peanuts. I feel so silly. But I can't because I didn't know, right? So if you don't know, you just don't know. I, I know what ground peanuts are, but I didn't know that suya in the African tongue was ground peanuts. Okay. Chiles, grains of paradise, African nutmeg, and there's some word here. I don't want to say it because I'll mess it up, but it's pepper blend. Bring the heat in the depth. Now, see, the only thing about that is, um, with me, I I can't I don't tolerate pepper. I was raised with a little bit of black pepper, but I don't tolerate cayenne pepper and all of the hot peppers. It's just not for me. I don't do that. So I kind of have to shy away from that, guys. If you're good at eating all the peppers and you like yours really hot, then let me know. Just one of my sister-in-laws, God bless her. Shout out to my sweet Regina, my late husband's younger sister. She would eat everything had to be spicy, hot. I could not do it. Okay. So again, what are we talking about? Cooking with less salt. Less salt. All right. So marinate with intention. Yes. So let meats or veggies soak in citrus, vinegar, herbs, and spices overnight. Now I did not marinate that chicken. Okay. So I got to get used to doing that. I don't do a lot of cooking and I don't do a lot of meat, but I got to get used to marinating more. Okay. And they have some things that are made up, but I don't know if they have a lot of salt in there. So you got to make sure if you're using that one, you got to make sure that you read the label and see. Okay. All right. So we're going to marinate with citrus, vinegar, herbs, and spices overnight. Says it's not just prep, it's transformation. So we're going to transformation that seasoning over in there. Oh, this is so good. Guys, I might become a chef. I don't know about that. But I will say this. I've had my day. I did work in Miami International Airport. I was not monitoring salt at that time. No, that was not something that I was doing, but I did work and I do know how to be a short order cook, and I do know how to cook. However, now I don't cook as much because I don't have the family again. But this is not about me learning to cook. This is about you as a family caregiver finding ways to help your loved one use less salt so they can retain less fluid. That's what this is about. And so we're talking about various seasoning. As I was introduced to this seasoning, Chef Paul, by my dietitian at the dialysis unit. And she gave me a couple. The one that I used over there with the garlic, and this one is the Creole seasoning that she said that might be something you can talk about, which she has a sample. I don't even know if she had tried it herself, but she gave it to me. So I'm bold. I'm trying it. No matter what happened to my rotisserie, I'm going to eat it. I'll say it like that. All right. Another one is support. We want to support any. Now, he's not black owned, and that's okay. But as a Black family caregiver, guys, let's support our black companies too, right? So there's one called Deuces Seasonings. Deuces Seasonings. Let me share something with you right here, real quick. Then we're gonna take a look at that chicken. Um, I had a comment come in, and they did it in humor and love, and I thanked them for it. And they said, "I know you said Black family caregivers, but I'm going to watch your video anyway." I say it often, and I'm going to say it again. This information that I'm giving is for everyone, but my target market is African American or Black families that are on hemodialysis or dementia or whatever they're doing, those caregivers. Why? Because in the African American Black culture, we face disparities that other cultures do not face. And when you look at our statistics dealing with, let me just see, can I get some statistics for dialysis? Let me just see. Statistics for, let me try to say blacks on, let's try dialysis first. Let's try dialysis, and let's throw in hypertension too, okay? And hypertension. Okay, get something I can spell here. Let's see what we can get. Let's see what we can get. Because sometimes people think that you're making up things, Nah, not that many black people on guys, that the oven is hot and I'm in my kitchen. Not that many black people are on this or that. Let me see. Key statistics on Black Americans, dialysis and hypertension. Black Americans make up about, now look, we're not even the majority here, make up about 13% of the U.S. population, yet 35% have kidney failure. That makes sense? We make up 13% of the population in the U.S., but 35% of African Americans have kidney failure. Now, Black Americans are nearly 4 times more likely than white Americans to develop kidney failure requiring dialysis. Now let's look at high blood pressure. About our time is getting shorter. High blood pressure is a leading cause of kidney disease. In Jefferson County, Alabama, the risk of end-stage renal disease due to hypertension was found to be 18 times higher for Black Americans compared to whites. Jefferson County, Alabama. Hold on, guys. Let's see, can we get a look? Let me see, can I get this? Guys, this is our, can you see that? It's done enough now that I can stick a fork in it and literally hold it up. See it there? Okay. I like that. Wow. And it smells great. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I turned the time down to let it go for 15 more minutes. 15 more minutes, guys. Wow. It looks great. I'm ready to try it. I'm ready to try it. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I might like this seasoning, but Paul, look like I have someone in the chat. Let me see here. I do. Hello, Anthony. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh. How are you doing? So glad you could join me here. We are learning to cook with less salt. Less salt. All right. All right. Thank you for coming in. Okay. So I was giving some statistics why this is so important. And what was it we said? With high blood pressure, I don't know if Anthony was able to hear that. High blood pressure is the leading cause of kidney disease. So we're learning, if you know ways, Anthony, that you cook using less salt, please share it. Please share it. Share it with the chat, the community, and like for this to know. As we're doing this series, uh, we're going to be bringing in, if ever you want to come in live, let me know. I can get you a link and you can come in and you can share if you have any information that can help us as African Americans do better and use less salt. So I just gave some statistics um, about why I'm doing this and why I feel so compassionate to do this. Because I work in dialysis, and also my late husband was on dialysis for like 20 years. And I know the struggle that families have. I often share with some of my coworkers, I said, a lot of times your doctors and your nurses, not taking anything away from them, but a lot of time if you haven't experienced a situation or yeah, sometimes you might not get the fullness. You can read it in a book and you can imagine it and you can listen to other people stories about it, but it's still not quite the same as if you've lived through it. So I'm talking to the ones that are living in it now, and I'm asking the ones that have lived through it now to share their information with others so we can help with this community to understand the fullness. How important is it for the family to somehow, it's hard, rally around the person that is on the dialysis to help them lower their salt intake, and therefore they will retain less fluid. Their heart will not work so hard. They will not be in the emergency room so often. They will be able to enjoy more of the family gatherings. It will help them even live longer and more peaceable, and everybody can enjoy having them around. Yeah, yeah. Um, it's very important. But I was kind of shocked by the statistics of Jefferson County, Alabama. Those are some high. That's really something else. It says in Jefferson County, Alabama, the risk of end-stage renal disease due to high blood pressure is 18 times, 18 times, 8 times higher for Black Americans as it is for whites or others. Guys, that's something is, we need to make a change. And that's just the statistics for Jefferson County, Alabama. But I don't know what the statistics are here in Rochester. I got to research that out. And I don't know where you are, the state that you live in. But it doesn't matter. What matters is that we find a way. Once we find out what it is that's hurting us. And somebody said this. Well, we're all going to die of something. That is true. We're definitely going to leave this earth. That's true. And I don't know when my time will be. I might not, this might be my last video with you. Could be. I don't know. But I do have a prayer. And my prayer is that I would mature, grow older, and be healthy. That's my prayer. I'm not saying that having you won't have an ailment. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that I saw in my mom, she lived to be 101. So she had some decrepities at her latter years, the last few years there, mild dementia. But I've seen the elderly. I see my grandfather in his 90s, and he would walk around as if he had the stature of a man that was in his 70s. I've seen some of the elderlies down in those southern states from South Georgia and about. They would be 80, 90, some of them 100 years old and even more, and they're still able to walk on their own two legs, and they were still able to have their right mind about them. And I thought, wow, that is awesome. I want to grow older and still be healthy, because a lot of people they have life and they live long, but they don't have health. And so, how can we do that? You say, well, it's all up to God. Not quite. Because the Bible says that we are workers together with Christ. With Christ. We don't just do anything we want to do and leave it up to Him to fix it. Now, He will, thank God, by His grace, He heals those things that obviously that we can't. Pardon me. And He forgives us when we do ignorant things. We do things that are ignorant, means not knowing. When we do things that we don't know about. But He also gives us wisdom to make wise choices. And He tells us that our bodies are the temple of God. He lives in our bodies. So our job then is to try to do the best that we can. You notice how people put a lot of effort together to take care of their animals. And I'm a dog lover. I don't have a dog now, but I love dogs. Grew up on a farm. But people will go out of their way sometimes to make sure that their dogs or animals eat the proper food and that they get the proper care. But it seems sometimes when it comes to us and our health or our loved ones' health, we're a little slack and we don't seem to do the same. I don't know why I felt to say that, but I don't. That's not in my notes. Okay, that's not in my notes. It's not in my notes. So, among adults with chronic kidney disease and diabetes, 63% of Black adults were prescribed blood pressure medications compared to 37% of whites. And there's reasons for that. All right. So I'm going to end this now by going over and see it if I can tip off a little piece of chicken because it's going to be hot and see what it tastes like. So hang in there with me. Let's go see. Okay, guys. Got a knife. All right. Oh, my. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Woo. Boy, that thing is so tender. Pop right off of there. And juicy. Oh, my goodness. It's coming all apart. You gotta get us. Wow, guys. It just came all apart. It's hot, too. Okay, guys, I do not know. I do not know. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I do not know. Move the computer a little bit. Guys, I got I chopped off a piece of a drumstick. Yes. It's still smoking. There's no way I can bite that. Remember I told you I had saved some of the seasoning in here? I better get something. That's hot. That is hot. That is hot, guys. Let me see, and I cut a little piece off of here. Oh my gosh. And then the skin. Oh, the skin. That's where all the seasoning was on that skin. Whoa. Let me see what it tastes like. Father God, bless this food that you've given in Jesus' name, amen. I don't know, here goes. Wow. I'm surprised. I can eat that. It's not bad. I can eat that. Now, with a little bit of that seasoning left inside, right? And they said add it according to taste. Remember, guys, I got a concert to do, so I can't eat a whole bunch because I don't want to be full while I'm trying to minister in song. You don't ever want to be singing on a full stomach. It is not a good thing. So let me try now. And guys, I added some more seasoning on that. Let's see. Now taste all the flavors. I can eat that. I can eat this. Let me try the skin. Remember, I did the rub on the skin. Now, some people take the skin off. When I do it in the air fryer, I do not remove the skin. I can eat this, guys. And guess what? This is the first time that I've ever, in my lifetime that I can recall, cooked meat of any sort and never added salt. I've never done that. Now, what do you think would have happened if I had marinated it? It would have been even better. Mm, guys, I take a mild blood pressure pill, and I'm going to learn how to eat with reduced salt, less salt. I can't eat without no salt because salt is in just about everything that you buy. Salt and sugar is almost in everything that you buy. But the added salt, as we take these boxes of salt and we take our shakers and keep dunking on and dunking on, that doesn't help. Guys, I wish I could just take I want to just take this and just bite. I want to, mmm, wow. Oh my goodness. It is good. Thank you guys for joining me. I will leave, I do my towel here. I will leave the information about this seasoning from Chef Paul in the description box, guys. I appreciate you so much. Don't forget to leave a comment. Anthony, thank you so much for joining. God bless you all, and I will see you.